Hialeah, no doubt. East 10th Street, where we play out. Here we bring the Miami crowd. Alex, the boy with the D. Step into rhythm, feel the heat. Street vibes mixing with the Latin tree. In our flow, the two worlds meet. East 10th Street boys, bring the party. Bring the noise from Hialeah with some joy.
Drink water like that. Well, I'm telling you, bro, I'm focused, bro. I'm focused, man. Yeah, inside out.
You don't know who I am by now.
Identify us.
You know, hey. When Alex takes a shower, the dude goes for 3 hours. I mean, it's like, you know he's going to be gone for a while. You have time. Do whatever you're going to do. Go grocery shopping. Go eat dinner.
Night, Latin spice and neon lights.
I like it. I like it, America.
Sir. Yes, sir. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a late night edition of East 10th Street Boys, straight out of Hialeah. I'm Bobby Melendez, joined always by my brother, AJ Atia. Alex.
What's up, brother? I'm doing good, man. I like the initiation, though. You just showed it to me first time before we go on air. Boom, you're gonna like this new intro. And it's funny because my part, you seem pretty steady all throughout. My pictures are all time capsules. Long beard, long hair, short hair. Short hair. I'm like, whoa, what the hell happened, man? It's like if I was going through something, like stages of my life, like in a year. It's like, what's going on?
Benjamin Button, you get old.
Yeah. It's like, whoa. What's up, Cap?
Cap for life in the house. What's up, brother? Thank you for tuning in, my man.
How you doing, brother? How you doing?
How are you? How are you?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Got them following up with the Caneswear podcast as well. They are live and I'm producing their stuff as I'm doing ours.
Yes,
but of course, Alex. Oh well, Alex could manage it if I have to jump off from it. He has the power. He's got powers. But anyway, guys, a lot to talk about tonight. You know how it is on East 10th Street Boys. We talk about everything and anything, and of course, we're going to talk sports. We're going to talk Dolphins. We're going to talk Heat. Heat are currently playing against the Phoenix Suns. How do I know? Because obviously I turned it on for my son, and he was yelling at Bam a minute ago, or a couple minutes ago. So he's watching the game there. But we are here, of course. Last night, if you paid attention to any of that or you cared, hopefully you did vote. But we had the election, and then Donald Trump is now the new president-elect. He'll be number 47, right? I think 6. Right,
47.
47. So that was it. Tell you what, I will say the one thing I always say, no matter who you voted for, no matter who you stood for, we're all Americans, red, white, blue. We all want the same thing. Hopefully, I would have said the same thing if Kamala would have won for Trump winning. You hope for the best. You hope there's a difference. You hope, and I read this second time history of president.
The other one, I believe it was Grover Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken.
Grover Cleveland, that's right. Yeah, it's crazy. If you think about it, Trump now has been a part of, goodness gracious, was it Clinton? Biden,
and now Kamala.
Has he been?
Yeah, he's been in 3 elections.
3 elections.
Yeah, he's been nominated 3 times for the president.
That's crazy. Sure. So, but anyway, wins yesterday. The polls. That's why I always tell people don't buy into the polls. They were supposed to be very tight. You're looking. We all knew Pennsylvania was huge. The blue wall, all that whatnot. But very early on, you kind of saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
And history was going to be made either way. Either you're going to have the first woman-elect president, or you were going to have the Trump winning for the second time and elected second time in 2 different terms. So crazy enough. But America elects a new president. Doesn't take 2 days, 3 days. Doesn't take a week. Doesn't take 2. It takes one night. Let me ask you this, man. How late did you stay up actually paying attention to what was going on?
I went to sleep last night around 4 a.m. 3:30, 4 a.m.
4 a.m. Yeah. The writing on the walls. Very nice. Very nice, Todd. Very nice.
They're eating the walls.
My dad joke. Do we have a final electoral vote count? No. Last night it was 291. Yeah, it's not done yet.
Oh, I didn't even know.
I thought it was 291.
Yeah.
to something. No,
I
probably
haven't
not
had
even.
a chance. I haven't had a chance because we were having meetings and practice today. I haven't had a chance to watch Kamala's speech
I didn't
today.
watch it. I read it.
You read it?
And I will
wanna
say to both
well,
sides, I appreciate the grace. I appreciate the say, hey, you know what? Let's move past this. Let's work together. You know, hey,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Let's not.
yeah.
It's different from what happened 4 years ago.
Well, that's the part. You know when you said that how you feel and all that. I always reserve my comments when it comes to religion and politics, and I was taught that at a very young age.
Yeah.
To look at the individual, not for what you believe in or who you vote for. But to me, the telling part was when I started seeing the tweets of their cheating in Philadelphia. I'm like, ooh, they might be making a run for their money. When I stopped seeing the tweets of cheating, I'm like, oh, they already know they're secure. They know they're going to win because the tweeting stopped. There was no messages to the American people. And I'm like, the only contrast, well, there's many contrasts, but it generally bothers me when an individual is okay with it being fair when you win and you have a situation and an issue when you lose. That's the only part to me that resonates, aside from a lot of other things in regards to persona, leadership, styles, etc. But like you said, you hope it's for the best. You hope the country progresses. And now the writing is on the wall. There's full control on one side of the aisle. So whatever is done for these next 4 years, America voted for this. America has to live with this. America
and
has
that's
to
the thing right
survive
there.
this. So
Trump won
popular vote.
The popular vote.
Correct.
Last time he did not.
Correct.
Twice he has not. This is the first time he did. So for right now, the electoral count is 295 to 226. I mean, 72.5 million, I think, if you want to call it like that.
There was a shorter turn. That's another thing.
Well, a lot of people didn't turn out. There were some people that did not turn out. But again, it is. I think Nevada and Arizona are the ones that it's kind of like.
Well, this is more shockwaves. Honestly, this is more shockwaves to the Democrats than in 2016, because now they have to reinvent a lot of things that they thought were priorities, and a lot of people have been saying it for a while. Oh, Bernie Sanders was famous for that. Bernie Sanders, people think he's crazy, but he made points that were the middle class of America. And like I said, look, I'm fully behind whoever is elected. I'm a U.S. citizen. Am I aware? Do I have other preferences at times? Absolutely, and I respect everybody's preferences. But I still wish the best for everybody, for my common man, for my neighbor. And as long as we're prosperous and we're not a joke against the world, that's all I want.
Anybody today, waking up today, saying, I hope he fails or they don't. Because if he does great things, that's great for America. It's good for us. We want him to do well. You want him to win and do well and do what's best for the country. Obviously, the last 4 years, again, when I've been hearing it a lot today, and it's so true though. When a oil change is not just simple anymore, it has to be a luxury. When going to buy a gallon of milk is $4, it's crazy. So those things hurt, and for the common man, the middle class, they spoke up. No matter they got to look at the person who's running it. So that's what it's crazy how it happened. But that no matter where you stand on the thing. Last night I was watching, I'm like, this is America, man. This is Americans. Like, you saw America stand up and make a decision, and it's like, you know what? Gotta respect it.
The only thing I would say, and like Cap says, is for the country to heal. The only thing I will mention, because it will go against who I am if I don't mention it. It is very concerning, the direction in this country in regards to women's rights. You have 2 daughters. I have a daughter. I have a wife. And that is one thing that I will mention, and I'm not going to get political about it. I really don't. It's just it's a concern for me that direction. I hope that it's not as extreme as things are laid out, because there are public knowledge of their plans and obviously the writing's on the wall. So I would do a disservice if I don't mention that, because I could be all happy-go-lucky and things are going to change. Look, we know who the person is. So I could wish for the best, but I know the reality of a lot of things too, as the common person does, but they're not going to mention it. But my number one concern is the future in America for women in regards to what these 4 years decides So there's things that in a whole grand scheme of things, not individually, and at the federal level, that's what and the states decide you have the freedom to move. Absolutely, I know I have the full freedom to move. Everybody has the freedom to move. If I want to move, I will move. I got no problem doing that. So I'm not taking it personal. I'm not trying to make it personal.
No. But it's true too. That's all right. The states do have, it's up to the state. But it also, I'll say this: it is the responsibility of each and every citizen to if you want change or you want to make change. Obviously, voting is the number one. Correct. So for a lot of people who may have those concerns, those same concerns, and like you said, I have 2 daughters and all that. Get it? I understand it. Get it? And but the people that didn't get up and vote yesterday,
it's on them. That's
absolutely.
It. It's on them.
So that's why it's like, again, and if you do want change or you do want to say, no, I got to fight against it, then get up and participate. Go to your local officials, call them, make sure you're in that fight. That goes for everybody. That's great. And that's the same thing. Like if you even listened to Kamala today, you heard Trump yesterday. Trump was saying it's time to unite. I would say actions speak louder than words, and we will see as it goes on. But again, I understand it. Everyone, like I was saying, same thing with the Dolphins, and we're going to get into the Dolphins because it's more fun. But it's the same thing with the Dolphins. Everyone has a right to an opinion. That's what everybody has a right to vote any way you want, whichever way you're leaning. Correct. That's what's great about this country. Last night showed that because a lot of people were saying other things, and it turned out, whoa, wait a second. Even the middleman, even the people who usually probably wouldn't go Donald Trump, went that route because of how bad it's been economy-wise and in your own pockets, and we've all experienced that. So we just got to pray and hope that it works out. Hope this, that he comes in, he says, I'm going to make a real change. And that actually means something for all Americans, not just one portion. That goes for both sides when they get in, but that's what it is. So, America elect the new president. They made their voice heard. It was the same night. It wasn't 3 days, 5 days. We didn't have no confusion. Obviously, we know 4 years ago where you were talking about that some of the people their own confusion, but still, it's decided. The other side say, hey, you know what? All's fair. You did it. We move on. Hopefully, other people take that lesson and 4 years from now and continue that moving on. We get back to normal America between everybody. Yeah, everyone's a party, but we're partisan politics, but we all work together as Americans. Now that the America has elected a new president, we know where it's going, and some are excited or, hey, man, this is going to be great. Others are like, the end of the world. Let's get to more important issues right now, and that's the Miami Dolphins. Now it's the Miami Dolphins. Let me just make sure Gainsborough is doing good. They're fine. They're 18 minutes in. Now, I titled this, America elects a new president. Should the Dolphins elect a new general manager? Absolutely.
According to my dog, is yes.
I think so too.
Yeah. Right.
As soon as we get into the good stuff, the dog is out.
Always, man. Always.
So we'll go ahead and there you go. Yeah, absolutely. You heard it. Yeah, it's we eye to eye. Yeah, we got you, bro. You complete me. What? Well, look, let's get into it. Should the Dolphins elect a new general manager? Absolutely. ESG label says C. 100%. My opinion, 100%. Finstanza called me yesterday after the trade deadline and was livid. Why did the Dolphins not make any moves? He started going on a post-game tirade. I'm like, dude, I'm off the clock. Why are you calling me with this? No, I didn't say that. But I'm like, I was a little surprised that he was getting upset about that because I'm saying to myself, do you not see the writing on the wall? We just said about the writing on the wall, but it's kind of true. I thought, did I expect a move? I did talk about it. If the Dolphins had won on Sunday, I expected they could be a buyer. He's a legend. They could be a buyer. And if they lost, they could be a seller. Now they lost. They did lose. Despite a good performance by Tua, some things were working, just didn't work out in the end. They ended up losing again. course, that's the hole they dug themselves into. 2-6 on the season. They got the Rams on prime time coming up. In spite of them losing, though, Drew Rosenhaus, super agent, who's very well connected with the Miami Dolphins, I saw a couple beat writers saying it, that the Dolphins were possible buyers, that they're seriously considering, especially Rosenhaus was saying they were seriously looking into what they could do to improve this team. They love their team. They know they can make a run, or they feel they can make a run. They're going to be buyers at the market. Surprising, right? I thought so too. But I said, let's wait and see. What could that mean? Could they go D tackle? Could they possibly go another corner or a linebacker? You know, whatever was going to happen. Trade deadline comes and goes. Nothing happens. They signed a long snapper. So something happened, but it doesn't matter. Nothing happens. Crickets. Comes and goes. Some people say, wow, okay. Dolphins must really like what they have. They're going to see how it plays out. People like Finstanza, what the hell are they doing? These idiots. Ba, 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 boo, 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 whatever. And I sit there and I go, interesting. Drew Rosenhaus, a super agent who's really into what's going on in Miami. Someone must have told him, connected to the Dolphins liked what they had, and they were interested in going out and getting players to strengthen their football team. That was the mindset of the Miami Dolphins going into the trade deadline. Nothing happened. Why? I believe someone, and by someone, ownership, said, no, you're not making any moves. You're not doing anything. You're not trading any of our draft picks. This is the team we built. You put this team together. You extended these deals. You signed all these contracts. We're going to let this season play out. Let's see what this team can do at 2-6. Because if they don't make a magical run into the playoffs, I can't risk a new GM coming in here with no draft picks. I strongly believe that's what happened. In my heart of hearts, in my Excel gut, we're working on it. I believe that's exactly what went down. There is, again, when Rosenhaus is coming out and saying that the Dolphins are buyers, they're seriously looking into trading for players, not getting rid of them. Someone in the organization high up was telling him, we're going to do that. That's what we're looking to do. So someone stopped them from doing that. Something stopped them. And I believe that was ownership. Ownership said, we're not making that move. You're going to hold off because we got to reserve our assets for the end of the season if I decide to make a change. I believe that's exactly what happened. Now, why didn't we trade Calais Campbell. Somebody was saying, you think of all these other ones. You think of even the running
Jeff
backs.
Wilson, OBJ.
Yeah.
They get...
I think, again, I believe it's totally locked in.
And one thing that I will say, and pardon my dog barking in the background, one thing that I will say is you can see they're going for it. And the fact that I understand they didn't trade for any other upgrades. We got Chubb hopefully coming back. So that's one of your D-lines coming back. One of your edge rushers. You're getting healthy. This team finally looks like what we envisioned this team playing like in the beginning of the year. Against Buffalo, at Buffalo. I wasn't discouraged at all at the end of the game. Now, once again, a costly mistake. Another fumble by Mostert. Tua with a snap issue at the beginning, but then played almost a flawless game. He ate him up just checking down, which is essentially what you have to do when they take the top out of your offense. You just check down. Your running back is killing it. You're moving 4 to 5 yards a play. The offense is clicking. I think it was one of the best games McDaniel has called. I saw very few errors in between. I know the defense let us down at the end with that dumb penalty by Poyer, which is arguably a non-call a few years ago. But you felt you're right there again. Is it heartbreaking? Absolutely, because the losses are mounting up. But even even once again, another one possession game. I understand. Yeah, we could be 0-9. We could be 0-8, but we could also be 6-2, 7-1. I understand. I can't live in those hypotheticals, but as a coach, I see what they're seeing. I'm like, look, this team is clicking right now, man. I understand this is unrealistic. This is almost impossible, but they legit feel that they can make a run to get to the playoffs because of the strength of schedule that remains for them is winnable. All games that they're playing are winnable. Arguably maybe Green Bay, but every other game that I see on their schedule is winnable if they're clicking. I did mention last time that I talked that I believe the offense needed to get 30 points to win. And yes, once again, we got 27 and we lost via a field goal as time expired, which is a 61-yard field goal. These are the things that to me, that you get the ball back in that situation, I generally feel that we go down and we score and we win this football game. But Poyer gets the penalty. What can you do? There's not much you could do after that. I know it's another letdown, but there's no way this team was going to trade assets to acquire anybody because I don't really think there was anybody this year that can make a difference at all. I don't think there was anybody that they could acquire that was going to make a difference for them as a unit. So I'm glad that they held on. And like you mentioned, the season goes sour. You have your full draft capital plus the extra supplementary picks that you're going to get due to free agency that you lost, the free agents that you lost. So this roster, your core pieces are intact. Your core pieces are intact. You are a 2 injury away and a slow start away from next year starting anew. You don't have older core pieces, only Tyreek Hill and Terron Armstead, which Terron Armstead probably retires or moves on in the end of the year. I don't really – I mean, if he's healthy, he might play another year, but I feel that the depth pieces are developing. Your defense is developing, but now's when you – through the draft or through free agency, you got to find a replacement at your safety because we let 2 safeties go that are they're producing at a quicker rate and a more efficient rate than the safeties that we have now. Okay, I understand we signed Jordan Poyer for the minimal salary, but still, I remember I told you this last week. I've been ultra disappointed with Jordan Poyer. I don't know if he's lost a step or if it's a scheme, but every game that I see him, it's a letdown. And Jalen Ramsey has been struggling at times. His play is up, but Jalen Ramsey has been struggling statistically. So these are the things that you miss Javon Holland. But if this team is fully healthy, you are fully. I have no problem seeing the Dolphins compete with any team in the NFL because their offense is clicking. Tua came back and it's like he hasn't missed a beat. The offense is clicking on all cylinders. McDaniel has committed to calling a balanced game, which is what we were calling for him for 2 years. So I see growth in that. Is it disheartening what's happening at the end of these games? Absolutely, because we're shooting ourselves in the foot. We are losing these football games. Think about that. We lost this football game to Buffalo. Buffalo didn't beat us. We lost this football game to Buffalo at Buffalo, and they're first place in the division. Any other season, we get demolished going to Buffalo. So I'm upbeat in regards to. I see the writing on the wall. I had predicted a victory. I felt really good. I'm not going to lie. I felt really good in that fourth quarter. I mean, I felt good in the second quarter. Then the third quarter happened. Apparently, the Heat, something with Miami in the third quarter, which we'll use. I don't know if you've seen these stats, by the way, Bob, with the Heat. We have won every quarter this year except the third quarter. We're getting demolished in the third quarter, bro. I cannot explain it. I think it might be a rotational thing. I know just a segue, but it's just something that, and I don't know if you've seen the Phoenix game, but Pele is part of the rotation now for 2 games in a row due to injury. And Khalil Ware got in the game today over Bryant. So I'm telling you, I knew it was coming. I didn't know it was going to be this quick. But suppose just a matter of like, hey, you're going on a 6-game road trip. You're 3-3. You need a spark. You need to do it now. And Pele's playing great basketball. But back to the Dolphins. I'm excited. I really am to see how we're going to end the season. But I see that no matter what happens, like you mentioned, I agree 100% unequivocally. If you are going to make a move, you want your GM to have your core pieces and your draft picks at his disposal to do whatever he wants. Give me 1 second.
As he gets rid of the barking dog there, give him a bone or something, or put him in the house, or do something. I mean, no, I'm just playing. First off, I see Sea Devil's in the house. Great to see him. DSG label, of course, Cap for Life, everyone tuning in. We appreciate you guys. Again, to be all fair to Sea Devil there, let me just read some of his comments there. If they could figure out a way to beat the Rams, then beat the Raiders, and Patriots, they enter into Green Bay at 5-6. Odds have same odds. DSG labeled. Odds have nothing to do with it. Yeah, the refs helped a lot. The refs did give a little bit. What's up, Sea Devil, man? Great to see you, my man. We had a good back and forth on post game. I appreciate you guys watching. Sea Devil Ross did not interfere, and again, that was just my thought. Not saying he did or don't. I don't have facts. That's just my thought process as to why, especially after all the talk before the deadline that something was going to happen, or that they were looking at that, and all of a sudden nothing happens. Not even a trade off. Not even a selling the parts like a Calais, not even Calais Campbell, because again, he weakens your defense. You don't want to do that. If you're saying like the Dolphins, which of course the Dolphins are thinking like you, Sea Devil, and most optimistic Dolphin fans, as they should, right? I mean, to say, hey, look, mathematically, technically, we're not out of it. They are, like Alex is saying, okay, damn, we lost, but we feel pretty good about how we played. Maybe that will, maybe that's, if we could use that going forward, we could maybe surprise the Rams on Monday night, because I say surprise because Miami does not do good on primetime.
No.
And they're in LA. So I don't feel confident in regards of that. But again, if they do find a way, and then they go against the Raiders, which is a bad team. And again, the Dolphins struggle against bad teams. And I understand Tua was not a part of all those games. He was a part of only 2, and then he came back. But still, Miami has struggled. So it's a tall task. Miami has dug themselves really deep. So I'm happy Miami did not make the trades. First off, because the Dolphins built this team to make a run, to go deep into the playoffs. It's not working out that way. So you don't just trade off parts at midpoint of the season. You got to let it play out, because at the end of the year, you don't want Greer making those decisions. You don't want Greer to go, okay, I'm going to trade this guy, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trade my second round pick. I'm going to get this guy. And if the Dolphins go 4-12, whatever that may be, and Ross says, you know what, Greer, you're gone. It's going to be very hard to call a new GM who might be very interested in the core of this team, but then looks at his draft capital and his cap room and go, I have nothing to work with here. I can't do nothing. You want to be able to go to a general manager. If that happens, not saying it will, you want to be able to go to another guy who might be and say, hey, look, man, look, here's our core. These are the guys that we're going to have moving forward. Here are the guys that we could move. So that could get you trim cap capital. But guess what? We still have our first, second, third, fourth, fifth round pick, and we can make this amount of cap room. Okay, bam, we move forward. That's the way I think it went, and that's what it is. We didn't want to overpay. I don't think there was anybody. I don't know, Sea Devil, who was there to overpay for. There was no real moves that were out there that the Dolphins would have overpaid for.
You weren't going to go get Lattimore or anything like that.
Yeah, there was no. A Lattimore wouldn't do. You don't need a Lattimore.
Not exactly.
Let me make sure I'm not missing out on anything here. Okay, they're good. They're about 34 minutes in. Okay, cool. So
Max Crosby.
No.
I saw the Lions. I saw the Lions making
Matt Garrett, Sea Devil. Again. That's a first, second round pick.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to overpay. Nobody wants to overpay for that. Miami can't afford to overpay, because if the Dolphins, they're 2-6. If the Dolphins were 6-2,
yeah, you could.
Maybe then you talk to those guys about helping you build your defense.
Because then that comes with a contract extension, just like we did with Chubb.
But then you're 6-2 on your way to possible playoff berth, and you want to try to make a run to help your defense. But if you're 2-6, you're not doing that. Now you may go out and go get a Jadeveon Clowney. You may go out and get a guy who's not worth as much. But again, they didn't even do that. No. I feel like free agent's a different deal. Hey, can we get you for a couple million for one season or for the remaining of the games? Different deal. Again, I think Miami's saying, whether it's from ownership or just in general, we're going to play this out.
Correct.
See what happens. Because again, It is what it is.
And one thing that I see, and honestly, I a lot of people talked about it early in the season, in preseason. Now it's gone very quiet. We might have found the nucleus for the offensive line, obviously with Armstead possibly retiring next year and not coming back. I don't know. I wanted to ask you because I felt really comfortable with this O-line, the way they continued to develop and mesh. And aren't they top 3 O-line in the NFL right now?
I don't have that in front of me. Maybe first off, George is in the house. Finn's Faithful Podcast. Shout out to George.
Yes.
And George, thank you for your donation to the Dolphins Cancer Challenge, brother. I saw that. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Shout out to you guys. Great content on the Fifth Faithful Podcast. He had Steve Malloy on there Monday night, and they had an amazing show. It was really cool. So shout out to him. And he says the best move was no move. Let season play out. 1,000% agree.
Correct.
But I don't have that statistic on me, but I will say offensive line has been performing better than most have expected.
Mm-hmm.
And a good shout out to Butch Berry.
Correct.
You know, and of course, shout out to Potato Chips Tua for mishandling the snap again after all that trash talking he did.
That's
I
karma.
laughed. I was
karma
eating
right there. That was karma
wasn't
right
it?
there.
You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I felt a little good about that. I was like, yeah, you know,
I don't
like it, but it was like all that shit you talk. Look what you did.
Like,
You know,
we
damn
know
well
it's
he got
hard.
in his head. You know, he
Yeah,
got in his
yeah.
head when he
Of
did it.
course.
It's
Yeah.
like
Goddamn potato chips.
good recovery.
Now,
but still.
I gotta give it for the Super Bowl or for endorsements. If Lay's can pick them up, Doritos can pick them up. That is gonna be amazing.
Wouldn't tick Dolphin fans, and we know what tick off Vincenzo if you
That'd
see
be
Tua
funny.
in a Super Bowl
sure.
commercial.
For sure.
He can't take us to the Super Bowl, but he could
Yeah.
sure as be on a.
Dude, unfortunately, man, you know what? I'm not gonna compare it to
Who
because
drinks like this? Wait, who drinks like this?
That's the way you drink water when you're a professional podcaster and you want to keep looking. Thank you, Fist Faithful. I compared a lot to, for example, Tyler Hero. Fans are not really going to appreciate Tua. And I'm saying it's different because Tyler Hero's not Bam. Honestly, I'll compare Bam too. That's fine. People don't really appreciate Tua and who he is until we win a Super Bowl, until he's further along in his career. Right now, we're not going to see Tua for exactly who he is and what he's worth. And the more I see it, the more and more every week, he commands that offense like no one else does. Like he is legit a pro quarterback. And people can criticize him and people can talk about his arm strength. Even in the incomplete passes, he still, to me, is the most accurate quarterback in the NFL right now. And yeah, show and prove. I get it. That's fine. I can't control the slow start that we had this year. But I want to see how the team performs. I'm not even going to say for the rest of the season. I want to see how the Dolphins respond the next 3 to 4 games because it takes a lot to lose 2 games back to back on game-winning field goals as time expires per se, and then you easily could have been 4-4, but now you're 2-6. Now you're talking about a different season because you're 4-4 and you're in second place in the AFC, 1 game out maybe. A game and a half out or 2 games out, whatever the case may be. And now you're talking because you go on a roll, which, don't get me wrong, they can still win out. And you can possibly make the playoffs as one of the wild cards. But you're at 4-4 and you go the rest of you lose maybe 2 games, you still end up 11-6, but it is quite a possibility due to their schedule. So it's not like I'm here wishful thinking. I'm like, I actually sat down and I saw the schedule and I'm like, dude, if everything aligns right and they don't have any drop-off defensively or offensively, they're going to be – dude, all our games have been one-possession games except what? Bills and Seahawks, right? Everything else have been one-possession games every game of the year, win or loss. So it's not like we're getting destroyed and demolished. I'm like, this team has kept up with everybody. And Bills just won in dominant fashion back-to-back games. So – I know people are talking about, the Bills are not clicking. The Bills were playing perfectly fine the last couple of games. They won by 20-plus points. So I don't see an issue there. We go to hostile territory, a place where you usually struggle.
Remember, though, and I talked about this before the game,
What?
Again, about with the Bills, you're going into enemy territory, but it's also your division rival. Of
course.
The games could be a lot closer than they should be.
Of course.
So, but not to take anything away from Miami's performance or the Buffalo Bills, who
Exactly.
again, the Buffalo Bills, you know, you trade Stephon Diggs, you think, hey, you know what, they're going to drop off. Josh Allen is playing MVP football. I mean, he's right
absolutely.
there with Patrick
But
Mahomes. It's crazy.
Even game 2, people don't go back to this. We lost game 2 to the Bills. What, 31-10, or was it something
30
like
to
that?
10. Yeah, 30-10, I think.
30-10. When you go see the breakdown, possession, yardage, we dominated that game except on the scoreboard. And that game ended up being 3 plays that destroyed us. But we destroyed them in time of possession. We outgained them by almost 100-something yards. We held Josh Allen to like 170 passing yards or something like that. So it's not like we got demolished playing wise. We lost the game. Yes, we got killed in the game. 3 plays changed everything for us. But like even within that, I've still been. I haven't been let down this year. I've been let down because of the backup quarterback situation, which I think we should have won at least 2 of the games that Tua was out. So that's been my biggest letdown. But I'm not let down by Tua, by our defense. I genuinely believe
Tua is what we thought he was, right?
Yes.
I mean, he's doing what he usually does. And again, that the offense is better with him. Obviously, this was, I think, you know, when you go back and you look at it, McDaniel's best called game. I mean, again, what sucks is it still wasn't enough to win, and you fall 2-6 on the season. Now you go, you know, a lot of people say, you know, oh, because we didn't have Tua, you know, if we had Tua, we had better. Yeah, probably true. But you know what? That's when I go to McGreer and McDaniel, and I look at you, go, this is why you go and you spend on a backup.
Yeah.
You don't be be scared about going after a legitimate backup.
When I see a backup, I'm like, I need 3 wins from you this year. That's in my mindset. I need 3 wins.
When you come in, if you're in for 4 games, I need 2 out of 2 or 3 out of 1.
Correct.
You know what I mean? But you got guys you couldn't even rely on. You only got 1 win out of that. Now you're in a hole. And now you're risking possibly not even having a job at the end of the year. Because you decided, again, we were good if Tua went down. We have our guys. Those guys weren't good enough. So that's why, again, then I see, so things like what you're saying, Sea Devil, that's the Dolphins mindset. Just so those who are on the other end of it going, why didn't they do anything? Oh, what's it? Oh, because they're thinking like that. It's not wrong. Mathematically, it's correct.
Correct.
The Dolphins are still alive.
Yeah.
Again, you look at what they did in Buffalo, you go, okay, the offense is clicking. We got to figure, again, Jalen Waddle, I don't know what's going on with him. He, you know, again, you know, Jordan Poyer was that guy should have been cut right after the game. As soon as I saw that play, when he went head first, I thought of you. I was like,
oh my God, it was so infuriating, bro.
I was so pissed. Like, you cost now.
First
of course,
all,
we don't
I
know.
thought they were going to call it on Cam Smith. I'm like, bro, Cam Smith didn't do anything.
No,
and
Cam Smith, that was his best play.
That was his best play
too. Yeah. You know, I'm like, you know, but not, you know, obviously we don't know how it would have finished, but Miami was tied. We could have gone into overtime. We could have stole a win in Buffalo.
Yeah.
And then you do a dumbass play like that, and it makes you question, I mean, goodness gracious, what was the whole idea of you being a veteran? Obviously, that doesn't make you smarter. Oh, I thought that was a clean play. I hit him in the chest. No, you didn't hit him in the chest. And the ball was out of his hands.
Yes, man. Those are the things that
dropped it.
Look, I understand when you're in full mobility and you can't stop, but you can even hit a player and not lower your helmet. So those are the things. Yeah. It's just infuriating, man. Infuriating.
I do want to throw out this very quick. Yeah, I know. It's so hard. First, I was smiling a minute ago, and I want to go back and watch it as you were talking. I'm not ignoring you, but at the same time, I was. We're in the third quarter now with the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
And the Heat are up 8. It's 66-62, 8 out of 7. They're leading 8-7 in the third quarter because that's their worst. They're terrible in the third quarter. But I was watching some Khalil Ware highlights. Yeah, he got a dunk. He got a block. I'm just loving it now.
He just changes your dynamic in that second unit for now, and he's not going to get consistent minutes. America, you need to realize this. He's not going to get consistent minutes, and when Love comes back, he might play. But when those moments he sparks, he gives you athleticism. He gives you rebounding.
You want your rookie getting this type of experience.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And against great players like Bradley Beal, Devin
Kevin
Booker,
Durant.
or Kevin Durant.
Yeah, absolutely.
He had a block.
Yeah, and Phil Larson. When we talked in the season, I remember I told you, out of any one of the players, I love Keyshawn Johnson, but out of all those rotational players that we drafted this year, the number one person that was going to get playing time was Pelle Larson because of the situation. And I don't remove the possibility that Miami Heat make a move in the deadline, kind of like a consolidation move, where they trade maybe 2 to 3 people to get one in return. So you have these guys now available to play rotational minutes, and you don't have to do the Richardson or the Robinson, which Richardson did great when he came back. Defensively,
yeah, Richardson has 9 points right now.
Yeah,
Highsmith has 9 points. Butler has 9.
Highsmith is playing great defense.
Leading scorer right now is Tyler with 17.
Okay.
Adebayo has 6. 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 points. So
correct.
Alec Burks 5. Khalil
Alec Burks is a great signing, man. And he's a great veteran. He shoots the hell out of the ball. And one thing I do expect to see even Terry Rozier play more off ball with Tyler. And my hat's off to Tyler. Tyler has reinvented his game. And what they presented to Tyler this year was like they wanted to stay off the little mid-range games. They wanted him to do either take it to the basket, focus on layups, or three-point shooting, a catch and shoot. Because Tyler used to do a lot of putting the ball on the floor a lot, 1 or 2, 3 dribbles, crossover, and pull up. Now you see Tyler is an elite catch shooter, catch and shoot, and his ability to get to the basket downhill, and at a decent size, at 6'5", 6'6", he can finish with the best of them. He has great discipline around the rim, and it's just the progression of this. And now you see Bam playing a little bit more comfortable. Jimmy's more comfortable in his role. I know we lost against Sacramento. That was heartbreaking because that was like a total collapse at the end. Now boxing out, a timing of your rebound and a putback. And Spo, I'm pretty sure, is questioning himself why he didn't put another big man on the floor to secure that rebound, and you left Terry out there. He could have used a combo of Highsmith, Butler, Hawkins was out, Pele, even Ware or Brian in that situation just for rebounding purposes. But it happens. It happens. It's just a learning moment too. But the third quarter is going to change.
Let me ask you this very quick, and we'll get back to the Heat because I do want to talk about that.
Yeah,
but we all know, obviously, Sea Devil's there. I think, you two, I mean, even though I know it kind of kills your – we talked about it last week. I said, well, if the Dolphins lose against you're like, it's over. F it. But the truth is, mathematically, it's still there. And, again, if they could pull out a win against L.A., then, things could start to look a little clear. Yeah. But if, again, I'm going to ask you something the same kind of way. It goes right with our title here.
Okay.
Let's say 4 wins, let's just say 6 wins, whatever. Should the Dolphins elect a new general manager at the end of the year if they do not get to the playoffs? 4 or 6 wins. It helps you out.
It sucks because of the situation of why it happened, but yes, I believe they would make a change. Now, I wouldn't want to do it because then we're going back to the same cycle. If we're going to keep McDaniel. Now we're hiring.
No.
You mean like a clean house, a full clean house?
No. So again, I'm in the thing of if you fire one, you got to fire the other. But what I would do though, I would say, hey, if we're gonna get rid of Greer, I'm gonna give the power. I'm gonna hire a new general manager, but I'm gonna give him the power to decide what happens with McDaniel. I'm not gonna handcuff him to McDaniel. I'm not gonna say, hey, if I hire you, McDaniel's your coach. No, I'm gonna say, hey, talk to McDaniel.
You decide.
I got your back.
Then I mean, if it's going to happen because of, unfortunately, someone's going to bear the responsibility of not producing. Now, do I see Stephen Ross understanding the situation and granting them another year with no moves like this? Maybe, but like you mentioned, the writing's on the wall. Stephen Ross is a businessman. He's been very patient. He's giving people opportunity. Now, I don't think he's going to fire Chris Greer just to fire him. I do believe he would make a move if there is a person that he desires becomes available, and that someone that he's targeted maybe in the past, here and there, depending on the name that becomes available for personnel, he might make the move. And like you said, something that works with McDaniel. Someone's going to let McDaniel work. If not, then even if you do clean house with McDaniel, you have an offense that works. So you're probably going to hire someone.
That's why you don't make a move at this deadline, because if you go into the offseason, if you go into the if the Dolphins fall flat on their face
Exactly.
And they go into the offseason and they have their core group, the guys that they've extended. Now, there's
Correct.
guys, even if they extended them, whatever, we know that. But they go in a group and they say, hey, even the new, if it's a new head coach, you go in there and you tell them, hey, look, here's our main roster. We got these draft picks available. You know, your roster, but again, this is what you have to work with. You think about what the Rams did with Sean McVay, and they had a good score. But they had Derek Thompson. Go in there. So you know what? No, let's go ahead. We're going to move Dobbs. Great career in Detroit with Dan Campbell. And they go get Matt Stafford. Now look what Matt Stafford's
he's in
doing.
the MVP conversation. Goff has to be in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, but Matt Stafford and McVay won a Super Bowl. So that's the.
It's a trade-off. It's a trade-off.
It's a trade-off. So again, we'll see how it plays out. If they fall flat on their face, that's when this comes into play. Where you go, good thing they didn't make a move at the deadline because you did. Because if they would have done it and they would have given up their parts, then that would have been tougher to kind of get a sale.
I want to see if they get to 500. I want to see if they could get to 6-6, because if they get to 6-6, and Buffalo maybe has lost another game or two, now we're in the game. Now, well, this is true. Yeah, it will be 3 seasons, 2 playoff appearances this season. Yeah, like realistically, I understand we've had collapses, but Miami Dolphins haven't had this consecutive winning seasons in a while, where we make the playoffs, even though we don't win, but we've made the playoffs. I understand last year the circumstances were stacked against us. For the most part, we were disseminated. We had a bunch of injuries. We were playing the coldest game, one of the coldest games in NFL history. So everything was against us in that part. But I also see it's crazy. It's crazy to see, because as a fan, it's so funny to me, because as a fan, and this is going to sound insane because it's part of the progress. When I'm coaching my team, I have a different perspective of when it comes to win and losses, because I see the margins within the game. And I know we might struggle a little bit. I got a brand new JV team. We might struggle off the gate because I'm implementing a new offense, a new defense. So I can live with that margin. As a fan, we want results. We want no excuses. We need a finished product. We need to win. And that's what we are. It's a consumer business, and it's a results-driven business. And if you don't win, you're not successful. But it's just incredible to me how I've been able to see it from both perspectives. And I understand as a coach what you're going through, because what you're building a culture and what you're trying to instill. Yes, you're in your 3rd year, and you get stuck with damn, I lost my quarterback. I lost my number. That's like, and I always play, no matter what backup you have, the way Kansas City has played, if you lose Mahomes, you're not 8-0 right now. That's plain and simple. If you lose Mahomes for 4 games, you're not going to be 8-0, but you might be 2-2. Why? Because they have a quality backup quarterback. And like you said, that is a number 1 mistake. And I guarantee you, they won't make that mistake again. And I still stick to this. The backup quarterback for the Miami Dolphins is in a college program right now. He will be drafted by the team this year. That is not a Skylar Thompson. I do expect them to use a high draft pick on a backup quarterback, because just like any position with depth, you need to have quality depth at the backup position. If your quarterback is a stud and you're gonna play, he's your franchise quarterback for the next decade, then yeah, maybe 3 or 4 years down the line, before he's eligible for an extension, you move your backup quarterback. But you still need to have quality depth at all places. You can't take anybody for granted, especially someone as fragile as your franchise quarterback does have multiple concussion issues. So it's just, it would be to me, let me get to 500. Let's see how they perform. I'll keep talking. I want to see how they perform. If they get to 500, then it's game, because anything can happen at any moment. And it's a situation where, as a fan, you got to live with, because that's what you have. We're already here. You don't want a lost season, but then now you also get into the point where, let's say you lose again, you're 2-7. Now you're like, wait a second. Okay. Maybe we can fight for a higher draft position. You're not going to just tank, because that's not what we're built for. We try to do that once and look how it ended up. But it could be a situation where now a draft pick is valuable. And when I always think of this when you have teams that for some reason they lose maybe 2 or 3 other guys, core pieces, and they have season-ending injuries, and the season is derailed. And it was one of those seasons where this team always wins 10 games, 11 games, 9 games, and all of a sudden they go 4-12. They lost their quarterback. You know, what can you do? Well, if you have young core pieces, even if you take that year off, I understand we as fans, we want success every year. But realistically, even if that's an off year, it could actually be a foundational building situation because now you have the possibility to draft someone high enough in the draft that if you were to have a regular successful season, you wouldn't be able to do so. But as a coach, that's not in your mindset. You're coaching to win all these football games. As an organization, that's not in your mindset. You want to produce and you want to win at all costs. Now, is there writing on the wall as you see it now that we can be successful for the rest of the year? Absolutely. The way I saw him I played against Arizona. The way I saw him to play against Buffalo. Granted, Arizona's not at the level that a Buffalo Bills team is. But the fact that we played away, the fact that we were in it until the very end, the fact that I genuinely believe if we've gotten the ball back with 50-something seconds left or 40-something seconds left, whatever was left, I think we would have won that football game. And even within losing, I'm more confident in my team now than I was the previous years as we go into December. And that's insane to say. But last year, come December, we started seeing the collapse. This year, we've already gone through hell. There's nothing else that could happen this year that would, losing Tyreek or Water or a Chain for an extended period of time. Now I would love to see if within the next couple of games, even with Mostert evolving in his role per se, where he's kind of also almost like a fullback at times, I do want him to see. I do want him to run three running back formations where you have Mostert as a fullback at times, you have a Chain as your pass catching running back, and then you got Jalen Wright. Jalen Wright ideally looks to be like a number one back in this offense, and I think of when I see Jalen Wright and I see Devon Achane, I think of Deuce McAllister and Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush to me is Achane, McAllister is Jalen Wright. And we've talked about this for a while at times when we first drafted him, but I see a perfect scenario where Jalen Wright and Achane are your running back duo for the next 3 to 4 years. And then you got your Water. You got your Tyreek Hill, where Tyreek will probably retire within 4 years, but you have possibilities. Now, what I'm excited about for the next upcoming games is Craycraft. I want to see how they implement him. OBJ was targeted a few times, and he actually caught, I think, 2 or 3 balls this game. So you're seeing the offense grow organically. Obviously, you wish this was game 2 or game 3 of the season, but unfortunately, this is the situation that we're in right now. And there's nothing we can do about that. Now, it's going to be telling. I want to get to 500. I want to see what it would take to get to 500 now, not in 4 or 5 games. No, I want to get to 500 in 3 games. In 4 games. I want us to win and be 6-6 and see where it ends up. And I think at that point, if you make it to the playoffs, even as a 7th seed, and you put yourself in the position to compete, anything can happen. It's happened before. Anything can happen. So it's a sucky situation because it's us. But once again, I was telling that while you were off, that it's insane to me what I'm saying, but I am more confident in this team going into December than I was in last year's team going into December. Because we already had the preconceived notion of a collapse. But this year, I feel that we've already been battle tested to the point where we've lost all these games that we've been so close to winning. So you're desperate. You're on edge. You've already had catastrophic injuries throughout. You lost Jalen Phillips for the year. You lost Tua for an extended period of time. So you've gone through it. You've gone through your struggles. I think the football gods will be in our favor, and we are due for a string of good luck. And good luck starts with preparation. I've come to see throughout my life that the more disciplined you are, the more you practice at something, all of a sudden you get more lucky at these things. Because luck is discipline is a precursor to luck. A lot of people just want to wait and see what happens. You have to go get it. And I do think that part of the growth, when there's injuries, there's opportunity of growth. Our blessing in disguise this year might be the evolution of the Dolphins running game and the way Mike McDaniel has implemented it. Now, I want all three faces because now, yeah, we did great. We're running the ball. We can't forget about Juno Smith. That's another layer of our offense. So I want a balanced attack, and I want McDaniel to continue to grow within these game situations. There's things that he can't control, but he's the head coach, and he's looking more like a head coach while still being a play caller. He's looking a little bit every week more and more as a head coach, and there are going to be situations where it's just going to be clear to see, and there's nothing we can do about that.
All right, so I thought they were about to end, but they're not. They were still talking. So I'm like, Reddit's trying to hear, trying to listen.
Just wrap it up,
Producing,
man.
yeah, producing too. So, no, they're doing great. They're killing it right now. They're doing awesome.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure. Anyway, I hear what you're saying, and again, it's just a wait and see. That's why, again, I understand the side which says, realistic. Hey guys, it's over at the end of the world, and the other ones are saying, wait, but it's not.
It's not.
Technically, it's not, and crazier things have happened, and so like Raphael says, Dolphins make the playoffs, you have a better chance of getting sick, AIDS. So it's like. And then the 7th seed will probably put us right back at Arrowhead. God help us. The Heat, though, 84-73 against the 6-1 Phoenix Suns. The Heat winning the third quarter, 26-18. Well, now 24-28, 28-24. But that's a positive sign for Miami if they could just hold it to finish it. We got 37 seconds left in the third. Of course, they're going off right now on the Caneswear podcast because Hurricanes again undefeated. I think the first time in the college football playoff, they're ranked third.
Hey, I don't see us losing. I don't see a way where what a difference a year makes. Obviously, this is the fourth year of your build. No, the third year. Is it third year? I think it's the third year. This is the third year of Mario Cristobal's build, right? So now you see these are his recruits. Yeah, that's his offensive line. That's his defensive line. And what a difference a poised quarterback makes. And night and day with Van Dyke. God, it was excruciating to watch him quarterback the team last year. Cam Ward is calm, poised. He has a hell of an arm. And he can lead an NFL offense. Like, I have no doubt in my mind, Cam Ward should be the first quarterback picked in the NFL draft. I have no doubt in my mind. What we've seen here, and I'm not being a homer, but I have no doubt in my mind that he can lead an NFL team just by what you saw this offseason. And he comes in as a veteran. I think he's 23 or 20, right? 23, 24 or something like that.
I'm not sure, but no, I as the season has gone along, and if you're watching him, the stuff he is doing, is no shock, especially with, it's crazy to think that a Miami Hurricane player is leading the Heisman, but he should be. There's a lot of talented players in college football right now.
Yeah.
That need to be in that conversation. Genty from Boise State.
Yeah.
You have the kid from Colorado, Travis
Sanders
Hunter.
or Hunter? Okay.
Travis Hunter. Those guys are studs, but Cam Ward, what he continues to do. Let's not be real. It's the same thing. It's offense, man. Him leading that offense. He is
number one offense in college football.
Yeah.
Which, if I would have told you 2 years ago, it's crazy how, for example, Mario Cristobal leaves a program like Oregon. They're ranked number 1. And then he goes to Miami, they're ranked number 3. So he left that program in a great situation. And now he comes to Miami. And, by the way, Echevarria, which is the new president of UM, he is a big athletics man. Big into athletics, a huge football fan. And he's always invested in football. I'm outside, so we have a little storm coming through. I don't know. The wind started picking up. I'm like, whoa. Things started falling and shit. I'm like, 1 second. Give me a second. I'm going to have to go inside. Umbrellas flying through here.
Freaking tornado. Where did Alex go?
I got to finish the podcast.
I got to finish the podcast. I'm in Cuba now. What? Hey, did you see the hurricane going to over there, the hurricane near Cuba?
Oh, I saw it. But did it go in already here? Or no. It
No,
went in?
I'm telling you, did you see the name?
Oh no. What is it?
Raphael.
Rafael? Oh
Yeah.
man. Oh man. Wow.
I'm like, all right, Ralph, all right.
Oh. I mean, I do think Genty should. Yeah, absolutely. I think Genty should win the Heisman just on talent alone. But
Genty's,
it's insane, man.
is a beast, man, and I mean, I know some people, even Travis Hunter was kind of saying, "Oh, look at his competition." Doesn't matter, dude. He's balling out,
bro.
He's balling out. And I saw somebody actually mock him to the Dolphins. I saw and somebody was like, "That's stupid. We're bloated. We're loaded at back." How, even though our running backs are pretty talented, look at their numbers. Genty's a different beast.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna. I would never say no to something like that.
Bro, if we draft Genty, I'll be all happy. We got Genty, Jalen Wright, Devon Achane. Woo! Boy. We'll be running it all day. Honestly, I've always thought about the evolution of when Tyreek retires, of a chain kind of becoming like with Waddle, that tandem, where we're not necessarily too
That's the thing with
dominant.
a chain, man. A chain needs to, you could spread him out right. You could put him at running back. He is a
Swiss Army knife offensively.
He's like, reminds me of like an Austin Eckler a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. But stronger and taller, which is insane better. And quicker. Yes, man. Like I'm telling you, like it's infuriating at times because there's never been a more talented team on paper. At the same time, both defensively and offensively. So it figured it was going to happen to us. We figured this was going to happen to us this year, but there's nothing you can do about it, man. You just got to take the punches. And now, when it comes to first round pick, depending on where we end up, that becomes very intriguing. Which route do we take? Do we take a playmaker? Do we take a defensive player? Do we take an O-line? Because I want to see what they do with Patrick Paul. He's going to continue to develop. I think the O-line is safe in regards to depth. You can never have too many. So, obviously, they'll address that. But I like the roster construction where it's at. I genuinely feel that we are set for the next, and there's nothing to worry about the salary cap. Salary cap could be redone. Contracts will be negotiated. So there are things that I just see across the board that there's so much talent, so much.
You're about to wrap up, Alex. I'm going to mute my mic. I'll still be here, but I'm going to finish up with them. You keep going. That's fine. You talk away, brother.
I'll talk away to myself. Let me put my feet up.
So the size of my what?
Oh, there we go. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch it off to the Heat because I like what you mentioned. There's adjustments that you make as a coach that a lot of people think that the adjustments are instantaneous. There's a lot of things that you see within the margins of the game that lead you to make certain decisions. The number one ability that a coach needs to have, aside from being adaptability to his talent and what he has and be realistic, because as a coach, you have to understand the personnel that you have to play the style that you want to play. One of the things that I see that Spo has done is he gives it time. He gives it a few games. Now he changes a few things up. For example, when I see the stat of the third quarter, where they're talking about the net rating of the starting unit. For the people that don't know what net rating is, plus and minuses, is how many points a team scores while you're on the floor and how many points a team scores on you when you're on the floor. So that's how you create the plus and minus. So, plain example. If I'm playing, my team scores 10 points and we give up 4 points, I'm a plus minus 6. So I'm a plus 6 in my plus minus. So that's how a lot of statistics are done in basketball. There's a lot of statistics within the statistics, ratings within the same ratings. And when you look at a team that is unsuccessful for a period of time, what you try to look at is what are you doing consistently during that time that could change it. Now, it all could depend on your sub pattern, the time of your substitution, the time you call a timeout. If to stop a run, sometimes you want to let the team figure it out. Sometimes you want to cut it off the moment you see it, 1 or 2 buckets, and you see the trajectory, because then it starts getting mental. Believe it or not, professional athletes are creatures of habits, and they do go through these mental blocks. Like The greatest writers that have won Nobel Literature Prizes, they've gone through writer's block. That exists. Famous artists have gone through writer's block. Athletes, professional athletes go through this. They start getting in their head. They get to the third quarter. They miss a few shots. Now, defensively, you take a step off the trigger. Now, out of all games, by the way, basketball is the game that I've always said this to Bobby. Basketball is the game that can change in a dime. You can go from being up 6 to down 8 within 2 minutes. Football, there's a game-changing play. There's an interception. There's a pick six. Baseball is a home run. Hockey, there's an overtime goal. But out of all the sports that we play, basketball is the one with the quickest swings, and it's a game of runs. In a game of basketball, you can in a basketball game, you can have at least 8 to 10 runs where it's 4, 5, 6 point swings. So I like to see the adaptability, and this is notorious. For example, I look at Zach Edey in Memphis. He's getting playing time. I look at other rookies; they're getting playing time. But true organizations, they play their player when they're ready. They don't play the players when the fans want them to play. So I saw Khalil Ware had some minutes that I haven't been able to watch the game since we're doing the show, and I'm outside. I saw Khalil Ware had some minutes today. I'm pretty sure they've been productive. They've been selective. I saw Nico's minutes took a step back. I'm intrigued to see how that works when Hawkins returns, because Bella's getting a lot of run. Highsmith is more of a plug and play type of player, so his minutes might be sporadic at times based on matchups. But I'm really intrigued to see how Pele plays with Hawkins and if they can push the pace with Jovic. I think sometimes Jovic is being misplayed again, where he's stuck in these lineups where they like to run Jimmy with a second unit and they're not running Robinson with Bam a lot. But I think Spo eventually is going to get to a spot where he has Jovic, Hawkins, Bam, Robinson, and then you may have a Pele, you may even have a Butler. But you need to experiment with certain lineups, and it takes time. You can't only do this in training camp. You know, sometimes it takes 15 games for you to have a rotation set. And it's going to happen. They're going to succeed. They're going to struggle at times. But Phoenix is 6-1. Phoenix is a good test today on the road, opening your road trip. And you just lost a heartbreaker at home to Sacramento, which you should have been 4-2 going into this road trip instead of being 3-3. So I see now the Suns up 1. This is the run. This is when you make it the run. This is when the sub patterns come in. Now is your closing lineup. At 6 minutes, you should have your closing lineups on the floor. I'm interested to see if Bella's part of it, because that's a huge growth for him. Bella's game ready, and he's shown it. He's a knockdown shooter, and he's a great athlete getting to the basket defensively, man. What Miami does scouting year in and year out, Pelle Larsson has matched up with De'Aaron Fox, Bradley Beal, and he's held his own, man. He's held his own, and that's what you couldn't expect. That's why the drop-off wasn't huge when you lose a Caleb Martin. That's the drop-off. It's not going to be huge when you lose a Josh Richardson. You already have Rashad Johnson. You have Pelle Larsson. You have the pipeline of this talent coming in and out where you don't lose your identity. And now Bam is starting to get comfortable. Jimmy's starting to get comfortable within this offense. So it's just a matter of time. Hopefully. This is a tough task, because now I think after Phoenix we play Denver, if I'm not mistaken, or we play Minnesota, and I think we play Denver because we're on the West Coast. So we play Denver. We might play, if I'm not mistaken, we play Portland, or the Clippers, or Lakers, or the Jazz. We might have. It might be one of those. I'm not 100% sure. I gotta look at the schedule. But these early road trips are tough because it's a 6-game road trip, and these are situations where this can make and break the early part of your season. So you want to take the first couple of games on the road. You're going to lose 1 or 2, you know that. Obviously, in a perfect world, you're going to go 6-0. But realistically, if you come back 4-2, that's a productive road trip. You want to push for 5-1, but you can lose these games at the buzzer. You can lose these games that are so close. And, it's going to be back and forth with Miami. I hope they can close it out, and we might be able to catch it when we're done here. So there's plus and negatives, but I see a lot of potential as we go along this year, and as we continue to grow. And I just want people to understand: be patient with what you're asking. Okay, I think Khalil Ware is a rotational player within a few weeks already. There's things that he struggles with. There's things that he's going to learn, but his body is developed enough that he can control, he can manage these NBA players right now. He can play against your backup big and dominate. He can go on the floor and run. He brings you athleticism. He blocks shots. He's a decent passer. So you have a good complementary piece for your units. So use them wisely, and it might take some time, but I do believe that they're going to get the fine rotation coming on as the season goes on. See, Bobby, y'all good? Need me to keep talking? I got you. I'll come up.
Oh, they're saying their goodbyes now.
They're saying they're giving goodbyes.
Yeah, they were just doing their predictions.
Oh man, if you can keep me up the score, are we still? The Suns still up 1, because this is the part where this is the tricky part. Now you're getting to the 8-7 minute mark in the fourth quarter.
93-92, 8 minutes and a second remaining there.
Okay, perfect. All right, cool. Now you see, this now becomes a tactical game because you got Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, which are arguably on the floor the best 2 scorers. So I'm pretty sure, I'm not watching the game, I'm pretty sure you're going to see Highsmith out there. I'm pretty sure Bella might be out there. Tyler's going to be out there. Terry Rozier might be out there now. Jimmy might not be out there yet. Bam is probably coming in now, or he was already at the 8-minute mark. Jimmy should be coming in at the 8-7 minute mark as well. So this is when you make your run. This is when you make your run right now. Because if you can take one of a road trip, that sets the tone, especially coming after a loss. I always try, always in my mindset, you try to get in one of the road trips. Always.
All right.
You're back? I'm back.
Sorry, guys. So, no, Canesworth just had a killer show. They were doing their fun. Brett texted me and was like, hey, are you still here? I'm like, yeah, I'm pulling double duty. He's like, okay, we're about to wrap up. Perfect. And they went 10 more minutes talking about predictions. So I'm sorry, but I know Alex loves to talk. And I gave him the floor. And I see we lost half our audience, so that's great. No, I'm just But so I know you were talking about the Heat again, down 93-92. Ware is at 7 points, 3 rebounds. Robinson 9, Burks 5.
He made a 3-pointer. I just saw the highlight. He made a nice 3-pointer wide open.
Really?
Yeah,
I love it. Oh, that's my. Oh man, I need to get Jovic, Jaquez, and Ware jerseys.
Jerseys.
Put them in there and hang them up.
And just put 3-0.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Again, I'm nervous as hell about the Dex draft. I'm telling you, bro. I haven't looked at anything yet. I haven't even peeked. And it's gonna be in the teens again. Oh,
and this draft is a nice draft. This draft coming up. Woo!
That's why I know. Obviously, it's the same thing with the Dolphins. I understand with some people saying I'm not to name names, but some people hope they lose out because we want a top 5 pick. I never
want a top 5 pick.
I don't believe in that. I don't want.
You got to trust your scouting department. You got to have.
No, I don't want to ever. I'm never going to say, I hope we tank. I want to lose every game. And no, bullcrap. I want to win. And I understand that risks the continuation of a mediocrity or what you envision as mediocrity. Yeah. But, same with Dolphins. The same thing with the Heat. I know a lot of people are like, because of how strong this draft is, I want a higher draft pick. No, I want to be in the playoffs. The Heat are always a draft. You know what? Did we talk about it? No, we didn't. We didn't have a show for Halloween, did we? Yeah, we did.
For Halloween?
The day after Halloween, right? We did a Sunday. Or Saturday.
We did Sunday. Yeah.
Did we talk about Dwayne Wade's statue? I don't remember if we did.
We didn't. No, because it was going to be unveiled, I think, that day. Did we talk about it?
No, it was before. It was before Halloween.
It was Saturday?
I was going to do, trick or treat, and I was going to have his face up there. Oh. But I don't know if we did. I don't know. Yeah, maybe we did. I don't know. But
the people that I've talked to, they say that up close, it doesn't look bad at all. Well, but picture that's circulating, it's always they pick the worst picture. The worst.
Here, let me just say this. At first, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was like, "Oh my gosh." But getting another look at it. But listening to Dwayne Wade, who had a lot to do with its design, listening to the artist. Again, art is perceived. It's like there's people that throw
perception
shit to the wall and say that's a work of art, and people pay $1,000 for it. To me, it's Wade had a lot to do, and he said it's not going to be exactly me. It's an interpretation of me. So as it more goes on, it's like, okay, I get it. Now, of course, you want him to look more like him, and you make
Yeah.
you feel better. It's not going to touch Dan Marino. Marino's statue at a Hard Rock is perfect, you know. But
Well,
I didn't mind.
I
Wade's
would argue.
statue.
Have you seen Ed Reed's statue for
No.
the Hall of Fame bust?
Oh well, that is by.
That one is
Yeah, I've
legit,
seen that. Yeah.
man.
Well,
That is
I'm just talking about
most-
Miami. I'm not.
Oh yeah, Miami. Yeah.
Hall of Fame does really good. The Hall of Fame, NFL Hall of Fame, does great with their statues.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. The Marino statue is perfect. Like, I mean, that likeness is great. It's just the problem with that statue. I think with Wade, I understand what it's just because it's screaming, because he's supposed to be like, this is my house. So they have to do the whole screaming. It's not going to come out like
Yeah.
him. Now, if they would have done like maybe him dunking or maybe him just then they probably would have had a better
Now,
statue.
The funniest part to me about that statue is the TV screen, the computer screen that's on the bottom of the statue.
Yeah.
Because they
Oh,
had to
really?
do a table. That shit is hilarious to me. Every time I look at it, I'm like, is that a legit laptop or like a TV screen? They're like, what is this, man?
We got to build this. Hold it still. I didn't even think of that.
Oh, watch it, bro. When you look at it now, I guarantee you that's all you're gonna see. When you look up Dwayne Wade's statue and you look down, you're gonna see a little desk with like the notepad, and I think the TV screen on the left side. It's fucking hilarious.
Let me make sure here. It's 101.99. Phoenix is up.
Okay.
Let's see here. Adebayo's a double right now, 10, 5, and 12. Jimmy 6, 3, and 13. Larson only has 6. Robinson has 9. Ware has 7. So, I mean, the Heat are not out of it, quite frankly. It's probably a great game to watch right now. And if the Heat can pull that off, that's going to be great. Just go around here, make sure we're not missing anything. And again, guys, apologize for my in and out here. I was pulling double duty because the guys couldn't go last night, obviously because of the election. We were tuning in because how important it is. And so they wanted to go tonight. And, actually they did really good. And our numbers are doing good. So it's kind of cool to see 2 shows running and 2 shows having good numbers. Yep. So, and kudos to everyone who's watching right now. Appreciate you, whether you're on Instagram and Twitter, Twitch, wherever. Big tons. I see you there. Or big notes. I think it's Brett. I don't want to get that wrong. Is that Brett? Forgive me if it is. But let's go Suns tonight versus Heat. Oh, that's Ralph. That's Raphael. Raphael's on Instagram too. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
All right, Ralph. I see you there. Oh man, you almost look like Brett Lagasse, bro. At least in that picture. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you probably know who Brett is, but that kind of threw me off, man. All right. I appreciate you guys watching. Everyone who's tuning in through Instagram, wherever you're watching, we appreciate you. Hit that like and subscribe button. My brother Alex and myself here. Let's see here. Let's see how many minutes left in this game. 5:33 seconds. 101.99. Double duties. Yeah, man. I'm just trying, man. Just keeping this network going, bro. We got it rolling. Later this month we'll have Doll's Diaries premiering on. Okay. Yeah, she'll be coming back, talking Heat, talking Dolphins.
Oh,
we
gotta make a guest appearance here.
Yeah, she is her first guest. Let's see here. Pull this up.
Tati?
No. Tati's actually in the background. She'll be helping me produce that show.
That's nice, man.
Yeah, man. And but her first guest will be Zachary Weinberger. Hopefully I'm saying that name right, but he covers the Miami Heat. So clutch points. There you go. Clutch points. Zachary Weinberger will be on there. Those Diaries. On the 19th, she's projected to come on there, so that's pretty cool. Talk Miami Heat and talk about this hopefully good victory that's coming up. Dolphins fam, always, brother. Always. Win, lose, or draw. Like I said, I know Finstanza, what he was saying. I get it. I get the frustrations. But like I said on Sunday, and it wasn't the knock on him. I just want to say it because he said the opposite. But I will never root against the Dolphins. I will never root for them to lose. I will never burn my jerseys or do any of that, man. I am a diehard for life, win, lose, or draw. And you know what? If they just continue to abuse me in my fandom, I'll just take it because I'm a diehard Dolphin till I die, man.
Hey, it's going to happen. They're going to win a Super Bowl in our lifetime. They will win a Super Bowl in our lifetime.
God willing. Let's do this very quick.
Let's go.
As we continue to wait out the Heat versus Phoenix Suns game, And if it
Mhm.
rolls out before we roll, and we get to see the end, that's great too. But let's do some weird facts to get those out of the way. I think that was fun.
That was super
last
fun.
week,
That was super fun.
and I thought it'd be cool to kind of get into this. So the first one I see there is when I make me see go to the last one that we did. No, nobody cares.
Bob, now that you're seeing it, can you please tell me on the floor, is it Highsmith, Bam, Jimmy, Tyler, and Terry, or they got Pele?
Oh, I don't know. I don't see
Oh,
the
you don't know?
floor.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay,
I don't
not
see.
seen it.
I'm
Oh,
no,
okay,
I know.
okay.
I'm watching. I'm watching.
Oh, I got you. I got you. They were watching the game.
The game
My bad.
cast.
Oh, I
No,
got
no,
you.
no.
I got you.
No.
Okay.
But we are leading by 2, 103, 101 right now.
Okay.
And was it Highsmith? Knock, knock. I'm doing a show. Ellie, knock, knock. Let's see. Your signature could reveal personality traits.
Correct.
A study in 2006 reports that among men, a larger signature correlates with a higher social bravado.
Yeah.
And among women, a big signature correlates with narcissistic traits.
Correct.
Tati has a pretty big signature.
And even if
Makes
you
a
sign,
lot of sense. Just playing.
if you sign in an angle up as well, it says it's like a delusion of grandeur, or like you think you're like if you're signing, like for example, not like you're signing straight across. If your signature as a sign goes upward, there's also signs that it's like delusions of grandeur, or like you think.
Really?
Yes. There's a nice study. Well, I've always, for example, the palm of your hand. They always say that your life story is in the palm, your life expectancy, diseases. Like if you actually Google right now, like reading your palm, there's sections where it's your disease, your life. Like I think one of the M's, one of the long lines is your life, and then if you have anything going across is major changes in your life, major diseases. Like it's insane that, because it's true. Like when we're manufactured, like there's a story for each of us. Like there's a destiny there. So it's pretty cool that everything is there, like evidence of of what your life is gonna be.
Didn't get that fact, did you guys? That wasn't even here. I was just stuck right down with that. But 1 in 18 people. 1 in 18 people have a third nipple. The third nipple is caused by a mutation in inactive genes. Here's an interesting fact. Alex
Nippolitis.
5 nipples.
That's right. Like a cow, bro.
That's right.
You can milk anything you want here.
That's right. Straight across, too. Straight across.
Just
this kind of freaks me out. Bananas are radioactive. Due to being rich in potassium, every banana is actually slightly radioactive, thanks to containing the natural isotope potassium -40. Interestingly, your body contains around 16 milligrams of 16 milligrams of potassium -40, meaning you're around 280 times more radioactive than a banana already. Any excess potassium you gain from a banana is excreted out within within a few hours. That's kind of freaky.
That's cool. And I love bananas.
Deaf people are known to use sign language in their sleep. A case study of a 70-year-old man with rapid eye movement disorder and severe hearing impairment showed using fluent sign language in his sleep, with researchers able to get an idea of what he was dreaming about thanks to those signs. That's interesting.
Wait. He's sign languaging in his dream, or as he's dreaming?
Yeah, a case study of a 71-year-old man with rapid eye movement disorder and a severe hearing impairment showed him using fluent sign language in his sleep. So he must have been doing and they were able to get an idea of what he was dreaming about thanks to those sign languages.
Holy shit.
Another one. Hippos really do have big bones, so big and dense. In fact, that they're barely buoyant at all. Hippos can't swim. They don't swim and instead perform slow motion gallop on a riverbed or seafloor. In fact, hippos can even sleep underwater thanks to a built-in reflex that allows them to bob up, take a breath, and sink back down without walking. They're so interesting to me. They look like they're peaceful, but you know damn well they're not.
They'll kill you.
They'll kill you in a freaking instant.
That is the epitome to me. A hippo is the epitome of like, don't fuck with that guy.
Yeah. F around and find out.
Leave him alone. Yeah, leave him alone. Leave him alone.
Let's see.
And they're strong as shit. People think they're just fat. They're strong as shit.
Let's find one more. I love this thing because you remember more dreams when you sleep badly. Researchers suggest that if you sleep badly and wake up multiple times throughout the night, you will be more likely to recall the content of any dreams you've had. You are also more likely to remember a dream when woken up from. That's true. I mean,
Wow.
I know that I can remember dreams pretty vividly, and I have bad sleeps. You could smell ants.
Smell ants.
Many species of ants release strong smelling chemicals when they're angry, threatened, or being squished. Trapjaw ants release a chocolatey smell when annoyed. And there's another one that gives off a lemony odor. Interesting. Well, there's your facts of the night. Wow. Look at that. All right. Well, Raphael, I was in the Marines, so I'm crazy off the bat. November 10, 1775, my beloved Marine Corps' birthday, 249 years. Get some Marines founded in a bar, turned tavern. I want a third nipple. Tati says ants smell bad.
Ants?
Yeah, that's what she's saying.
Yeah, like I've never understood. I'm like,
well, she's talking about third nipples. I don't know how she has any experience with the smell of third nipples.
That's crazy.
Heater down by 5, 108, 103.
God damn. But, how much time left?
2 minutes, 26 seconds.
So there's time. Yeah, there's time.
Plenty of time on the clock. Plenty of time.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we'll about wrap it up. Tati says whatever. We'll about wrap it up. You know, again, it's late. We're tired, and we wanted to get on here and talk. Obviously, Alex, you just got done coaching basketball. I started my season. My practices have started. Season doesn't start till next month.
How's it going, buddy? How's it going?
Well, we just had one practice, but it's great, man. I really like the group of kids. There's a few of them that have played before, so that helps. Tristan's gotten a lot better. Tristan's been practicing, so it's great seeing him interact with those guys and be on the same level. You know, not same level as those kids, but be able to play with them and get it. You know, be in the same kind of feel for it. There's a couple of them that they're new and you could tell, but you just gotta be slower with them and just and encourage them. And there's a couple good ones that their parents were like, "Oh, thank you. You have so much patience." It's all good. It takes a lot of prayer. That's it.
Yeah.
But it's fun, man. I'm really looking forward to this season. I really am. I'm excited. I really enjoyed coaching last year. Basketball, the game, it's more exciting because it could change in an instant. Where football, it's like if you're already down by 3 scores, kind of tough coming back, especially with kids. That drove me crazy. I wanted to rip my hair out doing that.
Basketball's not a good game for people that have heart problems. You should not watch basketball. It's crazy because you should not watch basketball.
Basketball for me, coaching it, even when we were losing, I was very fired up. Like, let's go, blah, blah, blah. But I was more like enjoying it and getting into it. And we're at football because I've played it. I'm more in tune with it. I kind of know more. Study. It was a more pain. Even though it's kids flag football, I was so livid with how far behind we were. Like, it's so easy.
You suck.
Get this kid off my field. It's like, sir, he's just 5. It's like, shut up.
Yeah. It's like the Peyton Manning skit in SNL when he's playing football.
I know you were talking about ants. It's all right. All right, guys, we're about to wrap this up. Alex, any final thoughts, brother?
No, man. I'm excited. Hopefully for this weekend. Also, it's my son's birthday. He turns 11. I know we have a birthday coming along also in that household coming up in a few weeks too. So it's an exciting time. How the time flies. It's insane how we're already looking at 11 and 12. So my oldest daughter's 17. So about to be 18. So you're like, whoa, man. It's like.
Yeah, just like that, dude. I say it's like, to me, it's like 12 going on or 11 going on 21, and 7, 9, 8. I don't know. Anyway, 7 going on 17.
How old is Tristan? 7.
7.
Okay, hopefully
7. I think
7.
Yes.
For this whole year, Dottie? Is Tristan 7 this whole year?
My brain is bad. I'm not good at things.
How old is Ellie?
3.
Okay,
3
you got it. Nailed it.
I know that one. 3 going on 6. That's how I say it.
Thank you, Raphael. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, Raphael. Thank you, brother.
Tristan should be 8, right? Or he's turning 8.
2017.
2017? Oh,
Yeah.
he's turning. Yeah, he's 7.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
there we go. Perfect.
My Alex, it's fucking.
I know.
Anyway, my sons are 20. There you go, brother.
Oh,
You see
man,
that?
that's insane.
Time to go by fast, man. They're not kidding, brother. But DSG Label, Sea Devil, Raphael, Cap, everyone who tuned in. If you were watching, Kids Faithful Pod, Tati, whatever.
Wow.
Everyone who watched on Instagram, wherever you're watching, we appreciate you guys. Hit that like and subscribe button. That's AJ Atia. I'm Bobby Fitz Talk. We'll see you next week on another episode of East 10th Street.
Out.
Good night.
Bobby L. Gringos in the house. Straight out of Hialeah, no